Hello everyone, my name is Gregory and this is the view from out here. Thursday night, like many of you, I sat in front of my TV and watched a full-on train wreck. I'm talking about the 2024 presidential debate in Atlanta. I wasn't even 5 minutes into it when it became clear that we are toast. I mean, everything that Fox News has been saying for a couple of years now, that Joe Biden is too old to be president, he can't form a complete sentence, he looks like a wax figure staring out in space all the time, all of that was on full display in this debate. It was shocking. My concern isn't limited to what we saw on Thursday night either. We have recently seen at least 3 clips of him in a compromised condition where he was obviously not there. One was at an event where paratroopers were landing and he absent-mindedly wandered away from the action. Another was when he was on stage with Barack Obama, standing there motionless, staring off into space for far too long in front of the audience. Obama finally had to grab him by the arm and escort him off the stage. In another clip, he was standing motionless, seeming not to be present, while the crowd around him was dancing jubilantly to a rousing dance song. There was a party going on, for crying out loud, around him, and he didn't even seem to notice. His demeanor was conspicuously out of place. Even at the debate, after it was over, he was just standing there at the podium, motionless, and the First Lady had to grab his arm and escort him off the stage. It was sad and embarrassing to watch. Now, this is a powerful and conscientious public servant we're talking about here, who has served in elected office for over 50 years. He had just been secluded at Camp David for over a week preparing for this debate, and there's no question in my mind that I could have done a better job of navigating the veritable tsunami of lies coming from the other side of the stage. Remember, I'm not that deep of a political analyst, and I haven't served in public office for 1 minute of my 72 years. Joe Biden has. It was frustrating to watch Donald Trump make outrageous and sometimes racist statements over and over, and Biden just let him slide by. To his credit, the moderators didn't call Trump out on most of those bald-faced lies either. Uncle Joe rarely defended his own record, which is considerable, and when he did, it was meandering, aimless stammering, and visible confusion. Meanwhile, 6 feet away stands 34-time convicted felon, serial rapist, insurrection-mongering 5th-grade schoolyard bully with no less than 3 criminal indictments, standing in the wings waiting for the results of an election that he hopes will allow him to escape accountability for his actions yet again. An odious excuse for a human being who has no respect for anything, including himself, who is seriously being considered by over a third of the population to occupy the highest office in the country where I live. I think I may be tripping on acid right now. I'm reminded of the early 70s when you'd have been hard-pressed to find me day or night when I wasn't stoned on any number of illegal substances. Listen, aging is a natural process in human beings, and it's not granted to everyone. The older I get, the more I appreciate that. You get to be this old through a series of reasonable life choices. The love, the care, and the support of friends, family, loved ones, and not a small measure of dumb luck. I believe it's incumbent on those of us who do get to be this old to develop the ability to recognize when we have stayed too long at the fair and to adjust how we occur in the world accordingly. To recognize when it's time to shift the form and manner in which we continue to contribute to a future we've spent a lifetime attempting to create. At some point, the baton must be passed on to the next generation. We still have wisdom and experience to contribute, of course, if not the physical stamina required to actually run the race, but it isn't necessary for us to be that athlete if we're not up to the required physical challenge. As the debate ended, the Democratic Party was immediately split into 2 reaction camps: those who understood the gravity of our situation and those who didn't. My reaction was, we're toast. The president had one job during that debate, and that was to demonstrate that he's not too old to continue to perform at that level. To demonstrate that he's not the guy that Fox News describes in their audience every describes to their audience all day, every day. Well, I'm sorry, but that question has been answered. We all saw it, and it's not going to get better from here. President Joe Biden is not going to get younger during his second term in office. Nature is making that call, whether we like it or not. The other camp, notably Vice President Kamala Harris and California Governor Gavin Newsom, were playing it off like it's just a bad night. And if it was just one bad night, I'd agree with them. But it wasn't. I haven't forgotten what Joe Biden said when he was running in 2020. He said that he would only run for one term because he was too old to consider a second term, and he knew it. He ran in 2020 with the expressed intention of defeating Donald Trump, and he did that. Not only did he defeat Donald Trump, but he rebuilt the post-COVID U.S. economy to the strongest and most stable economy in the free world in the process. Not bad for a scrappy kid from Scranton, if you ask me. At this point, I have to ask, how much is enough for us to ask of this guy? That camp is browbeating us with questions like, how could you even think of abandoning the president at a time like this after all he has done for this country? How are you so ungrateful? I get it, but I might counter with a few questions of my own. How could you even think of humiliating this truly decent and accomplished public servant by parading him in public in this condition? How can you even think that among the millions of Democrats working hard every single day in this country to protect and preserve our Constitution, that Joe Biden is the only one who can defeat the unmitigated menace that is Donald Trump? How is it that we are so reluctant to pass the baton on to the generation that will actually be living in the future that is being decided by this election? This election is not about Uncle Joe or his accomplishments, considerable as they may be. This election is about preserving democracy. This election is about defeating an angry authoritarian criminal with vengeance in his heart. This election is about defeating the type of authoritarian cravenness found in the MAGA-Publican manifesto called Project 2025. This election is about injecting at least some semblance of truth into a body politic that has been intentionally led astray by powerful illusions of greed and thirsty lust for power for the sake of the self-aggrandizement of one convicted criminal. Please tell me that we're better than this. I ask again, how much is enough? I want to thank you for hanging with me so far. And if you find anything of value here, please take a moment to like and subscribe with the links below. And please don't forget about either of my books, Basic Video Production and my childhood memoir, Searching for Saint Germain. I did a radio interview with Lanny Swerdlow at KCAA Radio in Coachella Valley, California earlier this week, and the response was good. Searching for Saint Germain is available now, and I'm confident that you'll find it worth your time. You'll find links for both books in the description below. Meanwhile, my name is Gregory, and this has been The View from Out Here. Much love.
Some more. Kind of. Well, it's almost summer, isn't it?